The interesting thing that happens with meditation, apart from getting over the initial surprise that you can see anything at all with your eyes closed or feel anything at all from the inside of you, is the fact that as time goes on, what you started out with may actually seem to change as time goes on. Anyone have that? So like start out with what the monk said or whatever, like moon or whatever you can imagine of the moon, and then you find it turns into something like completely random. And this is the nature of the mind. We may start out with an idea about what we're going to see in our meditation, but then it turns out to be something which you never thought of before, something maybe never seen before. And it's the nature of the mind to sort of have a reflex image where it comes up with something new, which in itself is not particularly significant, but it's leading you down a path by which the mind is starting to adopt something of its own dynamic. And you're the observer in this process. You're not making it happen, but you're allowing it to happen. You're like hosting the process. But behind the scenes, there's some part of you which becomes more relaxed, or there's some sort of transformation on a deeper level, on a way that actually stays with you even after the meditation has finished. So that's why I would encourage you to try to meditate more now that you know the method. Yes. And we'll talk a little bit about full moons, because I guess that's why you're here. This month we are on the flower moon. Flower moon? You say, makes some sense, because like lots of the trees are out in blossom. Last full moon was called the pink moon, but that was only one sort of flower, which was mostly phlox out on the prairies. But this month we get the full flower moon because it has all sorts of flowers out in blossom this time of the year. Yeah. So flower moon, lately it's probably best known because of a recent movie. I can't remember if it got an Oscar or not.
Oh, this is what.
But it was The Killers of the Flower Moon. But of course, the flower moon comes from Native American culture, but this was to do with a particularly badly treated tribe. Yes. But without dwelling on that too much, there are actually several names, although full flower moon is the most commonly remembered one for this sixth lunar month of May. But full flower moon is actually from Anishinaabe. It's also known as the budding moon, or the leaf budding moon for the Cree, planting moon for Dakota Lakota or Mohican, egg-laying moon for the Cree again, or frog moon. Maybe you can hear some of the frogs, mostly crickets, I think. Moon of the shedding ponies for Oglala, snake moon for Catawba, and the dancing moon for the Tunica and Seneca. Within our own tradition, Buddhist tradition, this meditation center belongs to, it's also a very well celebrated time of the year. It's a sort of major feature in the Buddhist calendar, and all around the world you see different things to do with Enlightenment themed festivals and festivities. And the whole thing about enlightenment, I guess, is a sort of extension of meditation, right? Like you do enough of it and you get enlightened. Yeah? And some people, if they're lucky, then it wouldn't take too long. Like 10 minutes, like 15 minutes or whatever. Or like other people, it might be a little bit slower, like you have to like put in a lot of effort, and like maybe it's like half a lifetime or whatever. Or maybe it's like late on next lifetime or something like that. But what can be said about enlightenment is like everyone has the potential in them, but how quickly you actually get there, well, that depends. And sometimes on this theme of the flowers, we have this idea of the lotus flower. I don't know if you've ever seen this one before. Comparison of 4 different sorts of lotuses for 4 different sorts of readiness which people tend to have for getting enlightened. So some of you might feel, yeah, well, maybe I do it as like a side hustle or whatever, or maybe like I'm in a real hurry here, and maybe you can see which sort of lotus you are on this like scale of like urgent to get enlightened to like, okay, maybe like put it on the back burner for now. But there are 4 different sorts of lotuses apparently. Like you think about a water lily. Sometimes the water lilies got the flowers that actually come up above the water. And that's the first sort of lotus above the water. The traditional name for that is Ugati Tanyu. And it's supposed to be those who will reach enlightenment without very much help at all. Just like already going in the right direction, imminent enlightenment. Yeah? So just a little bit of sunlight and already going to blossom. So I guess you're pretty much there already from the number of hands that you were showing just now. Generally, these sort of people, they are sort of born to be unnatural. Just tell them how to meditate, they get on with it, and it has results for them. More people are in the second category, and this is called a lotus on the water surface. And the traditional name for this is Vipati Tanyu, Vipachit Tanyu. And it's the people who need a little bit of encouragement in order to maybe keep meditating until they get to the point they need to be. Yeah? So generally, lots of carrot. Oh yes, enlightenment is really what you need, and this will sort all your problems out. Just like keep meditating. So, like the kind teaching approach is all that be required just to get the people to the point where the blossom really blossoms. Yeah. And then there's the third one, which is the lotus, which is there. It's fully developed, but it's still a bud beneath the water. So a little bit more work to be done, but still with the potential for enlightenment. And it said that these ones, and they're traditionally called Naya, are the ones who will reach enlightenment, but they're going to have to put in a lot of work. And it said that sometimes the ones who are still under the water, they may not just need encouragement like carrot, but they may also need a little bit of stick as well, like.
Why are you looking at me?
Oh, sorry, no, it's just like part of the. Yeah, we didn't get to number 4 yet, so you can be proud of yourself. So yeah, sometimes a little bit of prodding as well as the carrots. Yes, so a mixture, mixed methods, you might say. And then there's the ones who are now number 4, and they're said to be still under the mud. So they might need to wait for like the next lifetime, but they still have the potential. Yes, and generally they like to put a good spin on it, and they say ultimately we all depend on the mud. Yes, so the mud is converted into beautiful lotus flowers eventually, but sometimes you need to be patient. Yes, but enlightenment is there for everyone, and this particular time of the year is a lot to do with the Buddha becoming enlightened on this full moon day, like I think I calculated 2,613 years ago. Yes, and around the world they have huge, immense festivals where they really put in a lot of effort. In Sri Lanka, they take the whole week off, and they have wonderful traditions like everyone sets up a little stand in front of their home and gives away food all week to any passers-by. I don't know how many passers-by they have, because it seems that everyone is giving food away. And they send calendar, send greetings cards. It's called Vesak Day. Someplace they decorate the whole street. They do circumambulation of pagodas. That's Burma, I think. In our own main temple in Thailand, they do candle lighting. And even in the COVID, they still had candle lighting, but just with candles and no people. I think this is Vietnam, lighting candles like in a little butter lantern. This is Sri Lanka again. They decorate the whole city. And sometimes they have processions, ordinations. I think this one is Korea. And even the United Nations have said nice things about Vesak. In fact, they say it every year pretty consistently. Just for this year, Antonio Guterres was saying that we have a lot of profound global challenges, but the timeless principles of enlightenment will help us to have shared inspiration to bridge the divides, foster solidarity, and work together for a more peaceful, sustainable, and harmonious world. Yes. Sometimes the White House comes out with messages too, but I noticed the absence of one this year, but let's go for last year's one anyway. Warm wishes, yes, for those who adhere to Buddhist teachings to be enriched, strengthened in this world we share, and time to reflect on Buddhist teachings and the need to work for peace and justice and cultivate humility, compassion as we work together towards a brighter future. And they even got monks down to the White House, but this is like last year. Okay, this year they are busy with some other things. They did have some announcements, but it was mostly to do with prescription prices and trade deals. Yes. Okay, and for China, they have a lot of lanterns. Yes, so lots of light. For those of you who missed it yesterday, the photos didn't come out yet, but I did do some screenshots from the video they did. We had a very nice event down here. We cleared up most of it, spent all day clearing up most of it this morning. We had about 100 monks down here, 120. I think it was 130 actually. We invited 120 and like more than that came. I don't know where they all came from. So we didn't even know them. It was like all these monks turned up, yes. Speeches from, this is one of the professors of cognitive science from Claremont colleges. We had our mayor. Yes, we got the mayor to come to our temple, and he gave a very nice Mother's Day speech. Yeah, and there was even a monk who did the connection between Mother's Day and the Buddha, to say that even the Buddha had a mother. Yes, I thought it was a nice touch. And they offered special red bags full of supplies for the monks. And anyone who wants to know what's in the bag?
Yes.
Toothpaste, how did you know? Toothpaste, body wash, and things to clean your glasses. Yeah. Well, there you go. Yes. And we had a special presentation. Yes. Immortalized there, and a candlelit procession. Yeah. We managed to do that all without setting fire to too much. Yes. Yeah, and this is the view from the drones. Pretty nice, right? Yeah, the monks wanted to put big symbols on the roof as well, but yeah, they ran out of energy before they got that far. So we had some just on the ground level. Yeah. But just to finish off today, if you liked the meditation today and would like to meditate further and get yourself out of the mud, above the water surface, and like blossom in your life for the flower moon, please try to meditate further at home or on a daily basis. You might think, oh, we have to go all the way to a meditation center to meditate. Not necessarily true. If you know the method, you can meditate at home. Just find a calm and peaceful time of the day, calm and peaceful corner of your house, or even in your lunch breaks. In fact, if it's a work, it's easier for you to get some just peace and quiet. If you can sit down for 20 minutes, that is usually a good length of time to start out with. But if you can make it daily, then you can build on that as you get more adept at it. We have a app called MindGem, which you can download for free onto your cell phone. It has a lot of the teachers from our tradition, including the Venerable Jackie, myself, and some other monks who work through English medium, to listen along to as you're meditating, at least to the point where you can start to work out for yourself what method works well for you, what sort of length of time works well for you. So that's a good way to sort of get the confidence in the method if you haven't already got that far. Classes here take place regularly on a weekly basis, so every Thursday evening in the building just adjacent here or in here on a Sunday morning. And that's a good opportunity if you have questions coming up in your meditation to bring the questions along and ask them, like either as part of the audience or even outside time if you feel like embarrassed. Yes. We do meditation for kids too, once a month. You would be surprised that kids do really well in meditation, but usually for short periods of time. So like for these kids, I think there are 4-year-olds in the front row there. You can usually reckon on about like 4 minutes. And they get a huge benefit from that, but then they want to go and run around. Yeah. So they don't need to take up a lot of time. They are like the lotus is above the water already. Yes. So that will be later. It's usually the third Saturday of the month. And we let the kids do a temple tour, which means take newcomers around the temple on a guided tour for anyone who's interested to see more of the temple, especially architecturally. Yeah. And our next full moon for June, which is known as the strawberry moon, will be on June the 11th, which lines up with a Wednesday. Yes. And we do go deeper on Buddhism again once a month, usually second Sunday of the month. And the next one is coming up on June the 15th, and we are going through what is called the Mahasatipatthana Sutta. Yes, for anyone who's interested, like on a more scriptural deep dive. Yes. But for today, if there's any questions, comments, or feedback, be very pleased to hear from you.
Next, we will continue with the Q&A session with Venerable Nicholas, or share your experience. For anyone who would like to share, please raise your hand.
I have a question. I'll start. To achieve enlightenment, I thought it took a couple of lifetimes, or at least one. Is it rare to achieve enlightenment in this lifetime?
So, I think it's more useful to think about enlightenment as stages of enlightenment.
Oh, okay.
And there is such a thing as complete enlightenment, which means that you don't have to come back and go through it all over again. But there are stages by which you start to break free from things like in a more sustained way. And it's like worth getting to those lower levels of enlightenment because it's like you know you're safe in the world. And the lower levels, sometimes they're known as stream entry. And I think in the world, in the present day, there are people who are on that level. But higher than that, I think it's a sort of a dying breed. I'm sorry to say. Yes. Not like it used to be. So less enlightened times, but still some hope, I think, is the takeaway from that one. Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Holly.
Thank you. And it's good to see so many people. Hope to see you again Sunday and Thursday. I was wondering, I know you've told me this multiple times, so I hope I will remember this time. I will write it down. But with the meditation homework, with like writing down in our journal, sometimes we're asked to write certain things down. And I always forget what things they are to help progress each time.
So what Holly was asking about is there are at least 10 different things you can do in your daily life to sort of boost the benefits you get out of the short 20 minutes you are meditating. I won't go into those for now, but one of them is if you take note of your meditation experiences and write them down on a daily basis, then it helps you to, I guess, just putting into words your meditation experience helps you to be much more aware of what is going on in your meditation practice in a way that you don't forget it or like gloss over it in a way that you don't see the value of it. So it helps you to give value to your practice. And of course you could write down many things. You could probably fill whole notebooks full of notes about what went on in your meditation. Well, first I sat down and like my eye was itchy, and then like I scratched my eye, and then like I found got some other itchy. You could go on, and like that sort of notes would not be much use to you. But the sort of thing which would be useful in a quite a succinct way to remember and get benefit from your practice is 3 things. The first of these would be, this time when I sat for my meditation, how did I go about placing my mind? So every person will be different. You had, from the Venerable Jackie, a few different varieties of like what you can do. Do I think of a picture inside myself? Do I just work with my feeling? Or do I just sit there and relax? Or do I just feel stillness inside myself? Different approaches. So this time, what did I do in my practice to settle my mind down? Yeah, just in case you didn't actually think of doing anything at all. Second question would be, as a result of what I did, how did my meditation go? So what was the outcome of placing my mind in that way? So that's number 2. So it might be, I felt lighter and brighter and more at ease, or whatever. Or it may be something which you can actually write more detail about. And generally you would go for the good stuff, not like the disasters you had, because that's what we're working with, the top end of our meditation. Third thing, and the last thing is, as a result of my meditation today, what seemed to go better than before? Yeah? So we focus on the positive. And just those 3 simple questions you ask yourself already give you not only the ability to notice what went on in your practice, but also it gives you a pathway to improve on your practice for the next time around as well. So it's always helping you to move forward in your practice, whether you are a lotus under the water or on the water or above the water, but the important thing is that you're moving toward the sunlight. Yes. Yeah.
Hi, I have a quick question. I'm new to meditation, and how normal is it to fall in and out of sleep while meditating? And if it's not part of the practice, what do you suggest to avoid that?
So don't beat yourself up about falling asleep. Generally, there are 2 sorts of reasons why you may feel sleepy in meditation. One is that you haven't had enough sleep. So it's like if you come straight from work or something and like you haven't had any downtime, then your meditation then becomes that downtime. So therefore you may fall asleep even sitting up. Generally you know it's like that if you just like fall asleep repeatedly. And generally for that sort of problem, I would recommend that you make sure you feel refreshed before you sit for meditation. So like have a nap first and then meditate. Another sort of variation is some people find that they are just nodding when they are meditating. And actually that's quite a good inroad which you can help you to get to where you need to be in the meditation, because you're just at in a gray zone between being awake and falling asleep. And if you can catch it just at that point, often it puts you in a very good place for the meditation. because it's a place where you are awake, but you're not trying to be in control. And it just allows your mind to do what it needs to do. So often, if you just catch it, you can catch yourself before you actually fall completely asleep. That can be actually an advantage in meditation. So you have to ask yourself which of those you are in and adapt accordingly. Yeah.
You can also try opening your eyes just a little bit, and for a couple of seconds, however long it takes, and then close them back again. You can just open them up just a little bit. Yeah, that'll help you from falling asleep, because I have that problem too. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yes. We have questions this way.
Hi. So I noticed while meditating, I had a tear from my left eye come down, and I wasn't feeling emotional or anything. Could it have been just because I was feeling very relaxed that happened? Thank you.
That can be the case. And some problems come up in meditation when you're having a bad time of it in your meditation. Like, let's say, for the sake of argument, like she is really tired, and like the tiredness comes up as a way, it's like an obstacle in meditation. So it happens possibly when the meditation is not going very well. But in your case, actually it sounds like you're doing quite well in meditation at that point. And at this point, it's not one of the regular obstacles in meditation, but it's actually a form of energy that comes up when your meditation is getting to a good place. And for different people, it's different. The energy expresses itself in different ways. Just to give an example, sometimes people feel very light in weight. Sometimes people feel like their body is moving slightly. Some people feel suddenly very hot or very cold. Some people may feel like they have a tingling sensation. Or it may be tears, or hair standing on end. But it's not because of an emotion. Often it's actually because you feel quite good, or even quite joyous. And if such things happen, it's a good thing. It tells you that you're like 99% of the way to a completely still mind. And we know the still mind is the secret of success, right? So we're 99% of the way there, and then we have a strange occurrence, which can often throw us. So whatever happens, when you come to that point where you feel, oh, this is strange, even though my meditation is going quite well, is to just continue, don't be distracted by it. Just think to yourself, I'm going to ignore it and go continue what I'm doing, and let us pass through this point, and you come to a point where your mind is completely still. But if you let it throw you, that's like next time you come back to the same thing over and over again. So it's what is otherwise known as a special hindrance. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So good,
hi.
yeah, but yes, continue further. Yes.
I've noticed during my practice, when I practice at home, I'll put in headphones in and listen to like meditation music to block out outside noise, or like I'll light a candle, or so certain scents will help me get to that place or the noise. But I've noticed, like today being here, I had a hard time trying to find it because I wasn't listening to anything, or like the scents weren't triggering it. Is that something that like I should start practicing without, since I'm starting to associate certain scents to it?
I think that comes, obviously, being able to go within yourself and like shut down the other five senses is going to help you to focus more completely on your mind. And in the beginning, it's a very important thing to sit in a quiet place, to sit in a place that's a good ambient temperature, a place which is a good time of day, a place that's not too noisy, all these sort of things. Really important when you're starting out to get to that point where you are within yourself. But as time goes on, these things become less important, and you find that you're more resilient to meditate pretty much anywhere or any time. Like, you know where to find that quiet place within you, even without the paraphernalia, to help you. So I would expect that will happen more easily, and maybe with practice in different situations, it will help you to come to a point where you don't need to rely on like other stuff in order to come to a place which is quiet and still within you. And not only during the meditation, I would add, but even as you get up to do other things in your life, you still have that sense of being centered and being calm within yourself, no matter what life throws at you, while doing other activities. And that would then be called mindfulness. But it does come with practice. It's a byproduct. Yeah. So maybe give yourself the opportunity to test it out occasionally, like without all the other things. Yeah. It's a little bit like swimming. When you're a kid learning to swim, you've got all these paraphernalia, and you need less and less of it as you get more proficient in the actual swimming. Yeah.
Okay, I think we have a comment.
I just wanted to know if you do have an experience with the tear or the hair standing or movement, what stage are you in? Under the mud or still in the water?
I guess you would be like on the surface. Yes. Yeah.
And those are just kind of
So it's like you're close but not quite there. So the thing is to continue with that and don't be put off by that, even though it seems like pretty wacky, but to continue anyway, and then you come to the point where it comes to full fruition. Yeah. Whatever form it may take. Generally anything that's surprising to you or counterintuitive, just ride through it and pretend you're interested. And then generally you will go through it and you won't return to that again. Yeah, you'll be on to the sort of a new level then.